Hello everyone, welcome back to the Elden Ring Let's Play episode 6, and my name's Lad for Set Play Gaming. I thought we'd begin today's episode by showing you the base stats for the astrologer. Those are on the left hand side in the golden orange colours. On the right is our current attributes, and I thought it'd be a good way for us to continue to show progress. I'll try and update these periodically, maybe not every episode, but I just want to sort of keep track. We are currently a level 15 astrologer, and obviously I want to try and get some of these stats up as quickly as possible, especially the intelligence and the mind. I want to get those up to around 20. So we've got some work to do, and each time we complete a level or complete a boss area, we're going to be able to upgrade our character. For now, we're going to be exploring today Fringefolk's Hero's Grave. I die a lot. I hope you enjoy the gameplay. I've now got a camera as well. Right, so here we are. If you remember in the last episode, we actually had the imp statue. And if you've been to this area at the start of the game, this is all fogged over with like a golden or silver fog, and you can open that imp statue with 2 stone sword keys, so make sure you have 2 available. I think you can start the game with 1 and then you find one. You can find one at the Dragon Burnt Ruins is where we found ours, and the second one, because we started with the Amber Medallion, the second one we found at Stormhill Shack. So if you are playing and want to open this area, you do need 2 stone sword keys. As I mentioned there in the intro, we actually die a lot in this episode. So if you enjoy watching me perish a lot, my character perish, then you're going to enjoy this episode a lot. You can see there's an area, a dungeon floor here that's filled with poison, and you've got to negotiate this dungeon floor. At the beginning, I don't do a very good job of doing that. In total, I probably played this around two hours maybe, and obviously I couldn't show all 2 hours. I like to try and keep each episode that I do to around 30 minutes. So I've had to sort of clip out all what I would consider my favourite deaths of me dying. An example of me not necessarily making mistakes, but not paying attention. And it just goes to show you how dangerous this area is. So the first time that we're in the dungeon, we drop down and you can see immediately there is a poison meter that's filling up, and it's filling up really quickly. And not only that, he seems to sort of trudge across this poisoned dungeon, and I think, well, I'm gonna respawn at the save point that's above the ladder anyway, so let's go and have a noopsie over here and see what is going on over here. So you can see at the top of the hill there's something over there on a guy's body over there that we need to pick up. The detail in this dungeon is absolutely phenomenal. They did a really good job of making this really creepy and really spooky. We'll run over and pick that up. Now these things, you see, what's this? A poison bone dart. Okay, I guess that'll come in handy when we want to throw them at those soldiers. The dungeon itself is in multiple levels, and these big death machines, these big death chariots, come rolling up and down the hill. And then in the sides of the walls, you've got these little entryways, and you can run in and sort of get a little bit of respite and try and time your runs between the entryways, just so that you can negotiate it and get down to the next level. In this example, we died because I didn't get myself from the ladder to the second side before being poisoned. So the trick is to try and get across without the meter filling up. And what I figured out is, if you drop down and then sprint as fast as you can, what you do is, as soon as you round the corner here, you do like a little circle, tap circle, and he does that forward dive. And then the meter, it does fill up about 3/4 of the way, but then you just wait for it to go down, and you're no longer permanently poisoned like I was. So the next part is obviously equally as tricky, and that's going to be to negotiate these death chariots that are on these. You imagine these 2 or 3 levels swooping down slopes, and then it rolls up and down the hills. So you've got to sort of negotiate these entryways. Now, Again, playing this for the first time, you're going to go into these entryways and you've got this death chariot to avoid, and you want to see, you're going to time it, or going up and down the hill, how many seconds you've got to run out before it absolutely pulverizes you and turns you into butcher's meat. Not only that, in some entryways there's like a spirit sentry. I don't know what they're actually called. I guess you would call them like a Fringefolk hero sentry of some kind. You deal with him and then another one comes jumping at you. Keep in mind all the while your mind is on not running outside this small entryway, because you don't want to get hit by the death chariot. And you can already see just past this bit there's a second level to this dungeon. Drop down there. There's a second level. Now the guy that I knocked off the level, he's going to round the corner here, and obviously he gets hit by the death chariot. I didn't realise, even though he's a spirit sentry of some kind, I didn't realise actually that the death chariot takes no prisoners. It literally kills anything in its way, including the AI enemies. So you can use that to your advantage. Definitely use that to your advantage. I'm having a look around here and seeing whether there's anything that I can use, any shortcut, things like that. And then obviously timing my run is going to be paramount here. I'm going to have a quick run and see whether we can get round here. So we run round this corner and maybe try and get to another entryway before the death chariot comes back and tenderizes us. So we've managed to get into this one, and there isn't any sentries in this one, thankfully. So I have to remember that. So now we've just got to time it to the next one. I'm not sure where the next entry point is. Off we go. We run down the hill. It's coming after us. It's going to get us. And there we go. There's the entry point. So you just got to be quicker in that run. That is us being absolutely shredded by the death chariot. And we did, like I said, this was about 2 hours worth of video that I had to clip down into about 30-minute segments. Here's another clip. We jump into this bit. We've got the sentry to deal with. We've knocked him off. And then across comes the other guy. And I think I can't get into a sword battle and get out into this alleyway because the death machine's going to come and take me. So I just let it pulverize the guy instead. Again, you've got to use everything to your advantage. And he obviously wasn't paying attention. So he's going to be tenderized. And the other thing that I realized as well is when you get down to this first run, I realized I was spending too much time running round the corner. What you can actually do is you can drop off that ledge and drop onto the floor here, and that saves you a little bit of time. And I didn't realize you could do that until afterwards. Like I said, I'd spent 2 hours playing this level, trying to get runes, trying to get upgrades, things like that. And again, as with anything on Elden Ring, these dungeons, these areas, they're very well protected. So obviously, there must be something good down here. I jumped a little bit early there and got tenderized again. Literally 5-6 seconds after collecting my runes, I'd lost them again. And you can actually see there's something in the middle of the archway there. So we're going to try and get that. Definitely want to try and get that. And here we go again. You can just see the poisons wearing off. You can see that I've clipped out some of the beginnings of each run. There's no point showing you literally me climbing down the ladder every single time because you're seeing the same thing over and over again. At least here you're getting to see most of the action. One way to deal with him is to skewer him like a kebab. That's him done. And I'm going to make another run here into this bit. A little bit of a dive to make sure we don't get hit. Not quite him dealt with. Oh no! Ended up in a chop shop sandwich there. Just didn't deal with that first guy quickly enough. And again, this is, like I said, this is only 50%, maybe even less of the amount of times that I died. I died a lot in this dungeon. And I'm just showing you some of the handfuls of examples of the ways that you can die here. You get rid of this guy as quickly as possible and then move on to the next bit. I have now managed to update the channel so that you can see there's a playlist for Elden Ring. That means if you're enjoying this series, then please do consider watching some of the earlier stuff as well, so you can see where we're up to, what we've been doing. Go around the back and hit him. I've just got to be careful here that I don't get hit by the chariot. He gets hit and that deals with him. And just refill my energy there. So yeah, if you're enjoying this and want to see more, if there's something that you specifically want to see, like the inventory and the other screens, then just pop it in the comments and I'll be able to show you that at the beginning of each episode. I'll show you something a little bit different. For now, I want to concentrate obviously on the adventure and improving my character, Chinook. It does look like, you know, obviously being a level, 15 astrologer, we're going to need obviously way more adventures, way more dungeons and way more bosses to beat in order to, you know, make him better. There's a guy up there, I don't know how you get to him. I can't seem to hit him with my glintstone arc from here. This wall seems to be in the way. And I'm not jumping down and trying to fire something at him from there because the death chariot will hit me. I'm not that stupid. So as you can see, there are a number of different ways that we've died on this level already, just from these many examples. And then so what we do is we wait, as I said in the last example, the chariot rolls up the hill, and when the chariot rolls up the hill, we drop down. It gives us enough time for us to get into this area without being killed. And then the second part to this is I realised it takes a number of seconds for the chariot to reset and come down this section of the dungeon. We're now on the second level. So what I realised was I was waiting too long. There you can see it changing. But again, each time I'm dying, I'm learning something new about the way that the chariot sets. So what I decided to do is, eventually you will see me at some point, and I'm gonna just about made that one. What I'm going to do is when I drop down from the first level onto the second level, instead of running into that first point, I'm going to just continue running, because obviously I want to get as far down into this dungeon. There must be something good down here. And then so this next example you're going to see, we're just going to time our run. There isn't much because it's obviously reached the top there. Time our run better so that we can have a look at what's on that platform. In the middle of that platform. That's so enticing as well. It's in the right area, isn't it? So we take that golden runes and we'll drop down. Oh, and we die. Too much of a drop. But if you turn round here while we're dead, you look up, there's a little ledge there. So what I decided was, on the next run, when I drop, I'm going to drop a little bit closer to the corner, so that way when I drop down I'm going to end up on that first ledge and not drop all the way down. So you'll see here the example of what I'm talking about. Should be able to show you on this next example. I love the work that they've done on the dungeons, the atmosphere, even the enemies, everything. You're just thinking about multiple threats all the time. So it's gone back up that way, so we're going to go down here, make a run for it, manage to get in before the death chariot comes and gets us. Reclaim the runes. It's going to come back up the hill. Just wait a second for it to go down and then back up again. And then what we're going to do is when this thing goes down, we're going to drop down and have a look what's down in this particular bit. There's a ledge there that we can get to. And the dungeon continues. Once that rolls down, the dungeon does continue. But we're just going to go down this area. And there is a ledge here. And that looks like one of those imps. So I have to deal with him. I found the best way to deal with these guys is to fire this glintstone pebble at them a few times, and then as they jump up again you can hit them final time and they're down. and there's another one there at the end of the tunnel. So we just power up our magic again and fire this glintstone pebble a few times, and that's dealt with him. Now we can explore this little dungeon area under the death chariot. Absolutely fantastic. It's so atmospheric, and you never know what's going to jump out at you. You never know what's around the next corner. But I love the idea of being able to traverse these dungeons, and there's so many traps and so many things waiting for you. The feeling as well, like when you play these games, it's very similar to sort of like the 80s games, you know, where you'd go on these adventures. I don't like the look of that down there. There's something down there that's, yeah, it's one of those flame traps. It's kind of a bit similar to Tomb Raider or Indiana Jones, isn't it? You've got bad guys to deal with, and then we end up getting sizzled alive here on the sizzle stick. Didn't act quickly enough. There is a little tunnel you can get down there, but you see how difficult this is. You know, you've death chariots, imps, spirit soldiers, the whole thing. The whole, you know, they've not held back on anything. Let me include as much as I can as far as me dying multiple different ways. So you've seen us be tenderized by the death chariot. You've seen us got caught in a chop shop sandwich with the spirit soldier. We've also been poisoned, and just now we've been burned alive. So there's definitely enough down here to keep you entertained. There's a guy over here firing arrows at me, and just keep a distance and then run over, hit him off the ledge, and then deal with him afterwards. That's him dealt with for now. Collect my runes. How is it when we fall off the ledge, we die? But this spirit soldier, he gets chopped up about 5 or 6 times, falls off the ledge, and then gets up and just casually walks like he's walking to the, you know, to the corner shop for a newspaper. He's still got his crossbow in his hands. Thankfully, the death chariot comes along and deals with him. So we're just going to time this again so that the death chariot goes up the hill, and then as it's going up the hill, we can drop down. And we'll just start running. There it is. There it goes. It goes up the hill. There it goes. And we can drop down and then just start running. Start running. Because the longer you wait, the less time you're going to have to react. You get in here. Make sure that we do not. There's probably enough time actually there for you if you drop down and just keep running. There's probably enough time for you to reach the bottom and get to the next level before the death chariot resets onto the second level. To have another look and see what's down there. That's something that we should consider as well. So there's like 2 different areas here. If you end up dropping down into this bit, there's obviously something different down there. I don't know whether it leads to the same area. It looks like it leads to a completely different area. So there's 2 areas of this grave. This, oh, almost fell off the edge. Right, so back to dealing with these imps. We just hit these guys with everything we've got. I've been looking into the idea as well of, in maybe one of the episodes, let's have a look at my notes here and make sure I get this right. I don't want to get this wrong. Just while we're dealing with this. There's an area just as you come out of the Chapel of Anticipation. It's kind of where the tree sentinel is. I don't know whether you guys remember that guy. He's like a big, like really big warrior who has this massive axe, and he's on this cavalry on horseback, and he rides up and down just in front of where the Church of Ella is. And then, like I said, it's outside the Chapel of Anticipation, but a bit further along. To the left of there, this is massive. It looks like a graveyard of some kind, We've got the fire trap here that we've got to be careful of. But there's an area there of Limgrave that I haven't explored. Didn't quite make it. There's actually an imp waiting for you as well, so even if you do make it, you could get butchered up by him. That's another area that I'm going to have to leave. The next, for now, what I want to do is try and get to the bottom of the dungeon and see what's at the bottom of the dungeon, see what's waiting for me. And it might very well turn out that it's something worthwhile dying for, like 25, 30 times. Especially if there's something valuable at the bottom of the dungeon. I can't imagine you would get to the bottom of the dungeon and there's just nothing there. And you know, the way that you have to go is past the flame traps and the imps. There must be something else at the bottom of this dungeon waiting for me. So we just wait for this guy to get tenderized by the death chariot, the rolling death chariot. That's what I'm calling it. There you are. That he's been dealt with. So my theory is that we're going to drop down and we're just going to run as fast as we can, sprint as fast as we can all the way down the hill. There we go. Maybe just get inside here. We made it. So now all we've got to do is get around the corner. This is like the second level. We'll be going down to the third level. And we'll see exactly what's at the bottom of this dungeon. What are the death chariots protecting? And there's a hell of a hill that it's got to go up, so it should give us enough time. We just... actually, there's a spot here. Wait, there's another level. That's 2. Is this the same area we've just been in? Have I confused myself? Looks like a different area. I don't know where the death chariot is now, that's the problem. And is that area different from the area that we just come from? There's another bit, there's a third section down there that we've not been to yet. There it is. So we've got to time this next one, properly. It's a hell of a hill that it's going to go up and down, so there's enough time. It's just whether or not we'd be able to get up the hill quickly enough. Here it comes. And it's going to stop there. Right. I'm going to go, see if we can get to this next bit. See if we can get there, just to the next archway. I should have come this way originally. I made it. Oh god. Right, so more of these spirit soldiers that we've got to deal with. I've not done that so well. I've got caught and now I've been killed. So when we drop down, what we've got to do is we've got to just continue running. And then when we get into that one section, instead of going uphill, we've got to go downhill. Here we go. As I said, we do die a lot. But hopefully it's going to be worth it. See what's at the end of this dungeon. Deal with this guy first. Got caught with a kick. Got caught with another one. Try and get out of there. Use a little bit of agility and swing my sword. Oh. Kebab skewer time. Right, retrieve my runes. This time we're going to make it all the way down. Hopefully. I hope you guys are enjoying watching me get pulverized as much as possible. In many different ways as well. It's not like... There is some variety there. There's some variety. And this guy's kind of shooting me with the arrow. Alright, you're supposed to use the shield to protect yourself. Hide behind this big shield. Let's wait for the machine to go past again and then we'll I can actually hit him from here instead. And that's him dealt with. So when that goes, we'll just fill back up again. Run across. So now he's going to get smashed by this death machine. This death chariot. And then hopefully, this next run, we should be able to make it down to the bottom. Now we know what to do. I mean, we've known kind of what to do for the last 20 minutes, but I just wanted to show you guys the amount of times and different varieties, ways of dying. So here we go. Here's the run. We're going to avoid the imps and the flame stuff down there for now. We're just going to run straight down, round the corner, and try and get to this first bit. We made it. Right, now we've got to deal with these guys. We've got ourselves in guard position. Well, that's one dealt with. Don't even need to deal with him. You see, if he's stupid to stand out in front of that death chariot, then that's up to him. It'd be a lot harder, I think, if those guys didn't get hit by the death chariot and they were just able to pass through it with them being spirits of some kind. So all we've got to do now is get to the bottom. There's another archway there. We've got to time this carefully as well and make sure that, I think, as it rolls downhill, just as it passes us, we've got to follow it. Just like this. Yeah, it's got a hell of a run now. We can probably make it to the next archway. We've just got to wait for it to go back down the hill and be ready for when it goes back. If you guys did things any differently, then please do let me know. If you've got any other ideas, as I said in the last episode, if you've got any ideas, any tips, but like I said, try and keep them spoiler free. Don't tell me if somebody dies or if somebody comes along. I just basically want to have tips and advice to help me. Whoa, that's a lot of spirit soldiers. Holy crap. And they've all just been tenderized. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how cool that was. I ran right past them into the archway and they all got absolutely smashed by that death chariot. Well, there's a tip I didn't see coming. I would have just stood there fighting them. But it turns out you don't need to do that. Wow. Okay. It stops there and turns round. So when it goes up the hill, we should run down and see finally what's at the bottom of this area. It looks like this is the end. Turn around here. Ooh. Remember this bit, don't we? Whoa, what the hell is that thing? Ulcerated tree spirit. Whoa! Whoa! Holy crap! Yeah, I don't think we're strong enough to take that on just about yet, do you? We definitely have to come back to this when we're a bit stronger. Ouch! Thank you so much for joining me on the channel today. I hope you enjoyed the run there in Fringefolk Hero's Grave. If you did, feel free to smash a like, leave me a comment. I'm going to be back soon with another episode. As I said, I want to have a look at the unexplored area of Limgrave that I haven't been to yet. And I'm going to leave 1 or 2 videos up here for you to click on if you want to continue watching more Elden Ring content. Please feel free to do so. It helps support me on the channel. And thank you so much for all your continued support. This is our lad for Set Play Gaming. See you guys very soon.